He got suspended and a few years later got caught peeing outside and put on the sex offenders list. People of Reddit, what was the most NSFW event you ever stumbled upon in high school? No one thought it would be a bad idea for the cross-country team to have thin white uniforms until we had a race in a thunderstorm. So many flashbacks of penises swaying with each stride. In middle school, some kids walked in and started having sex in the stall next to me while I was pooping. We had a girl who would sit in the back of the bus and seemed to always have a different dude sit next to her. Turns out she was giving guys handjobs for a small price. This was junior high, but one kid who we suspected was gay gave another kid who we did not suspect was gay a blowjob in the bathroom stall. And for what? The holofoil Clefairy Pokemon card. I went to a boarding school my freshman year of high school, and a few weeks in, I volunteered to help walk our librarian's dog for her while her leg was healing after an injury. So I was walking this huge dog through the woods around campus when he suddenly sniffed the air and just ripped the leash out of my hands and took off into the underbrush. I started chasing after him when I heard screaming and yelling. I thought, oh god, this dog mauled someone, and I'm going to get expelled. Broke through a clearing and there were 5 half-naked upperclassmen trying to put their clothes on and scatter, while this dog is joyously barking and jumping up on and licking them. Edit. I guess since so many people are asking, yes, it was a co-ed school, and yes, both sexes were represented. Walked into a bathroom after school and found a guy and a girl about to go to town. She had her shirt off and skirt up, he had his pants on. I caught them just before the moment of insertion. I said nothing. I would have left them to it, except all other bathrooms on campus, except this one were always locked shortly before the last bell. So I silently walked to a urinal, calmly did my business, and properly washed my hands. By the time I went to leave, the girl was hiding in a stall, and the guy was waiting by the door. I shrugged at the guy shrugged back, I left and heard the door lock behind me. Not one of us said anything or made a sound during the entire exchange. Edit. For everyone calling it a power move, I appreciate it, but I just didn't want to have to pee in the bushes. I ran cross-country in high school. Sometimes during practice we would run through trails in the woods surrounding the high school. One day right after school ended, we started running down the trails and stumbled upon 2 students having sex. Judging by their reactions, I don't think they were expecting a group of 15 guys to run by while they were getting it on. In band before a football game, I walk into the percussion room to hang with the homies. Everyone is huddled around this dude in the corner of the room laughing, so of course I walk over to check it out. Turns out the dude was showing everyone how tiny his dick is and everyone was so fascinated. Yeah, it was really small. Like from the tip of your pinky to the first knuckle down. I've never seen anything like it. Edit. I know it's called a micropenis. Foul. Some kid at a party got blackout wasted and shat himself. In the middle of the crowd he took his pants down and slipped in it, proceeded to army crawl to try and make it out, but just smeared it everywhere. He is still known as the party pooper. In 8th grade we went on a class trip to Hershey Park. 2 girls gave a guy a blowjob on the bus ride home next to a sleeping chaperone. They eventually got caught, and that's why there are now no co-ed buses in the district. This was also in 2002. I went to a small party at my friend's house. My girlfriend and I got there late. We went in and noticed nobody was in the living room. Weird, they said they'd be here. Start walking to the back and I could hear several voices in the bedroom. I just opened the door and there were 7 of my friends just having a casual orgy. Freshman year of high school, the football team is out practicing. A senior varsity player came into the freshman locker room, cut all the locks off our lockers, and stole our clothes. Nice enough to take wallets and phones etc. out of pockets and leave them in the lockers though. The idiot didn't realize the hallway cameras had him the whole time. Most of us chose not to shower until we got home, and as a team proceeded to leave in groups in undershirts and boxers or no shirts and boxers after getting a call our rides were there. Small town, small school, so ultimately he was just benched for a few games, suspended for a day or 2, and his parents had to buy a bunch of padlocks. Went to the teacher's room to get some papers that my Portuguese teacher had forgotten. I stumbled at my gym and biology teachers kissing each other really hard over the meeting table. They didn't even notice me. And oh, it was a Catholic school, and they were both married. My face when I returned to class without the papers must have been priceless. Fresh jizz on a locker room bench. A kid pulled his pants down in Spanish class and pissed in the corner. A kid with a mental handicap who would vigorously masturbate in AP Political Science at least once a week. Edit. One day in AP Poli Sci, the kid with Asperger's sat alone in a row of empty chairs, all closely placed together directly in front of the teacher. In the middle of class, he reclined across 4 adjacent seats and went to work in his pants. At my angle, I could see everything. The tent. His forearm pistoning up and down. The veins in his neck. He stuck out his tongue and curled his toes, taunting us like that for 5, maybe 10 seconds, before the teacher shouted at him. This kid did weird crap, but he was in a number of my AP classes and, I think, legitimately earned his way. He carried our team's ass in AP Brit Lit junior year during in-class Jeopardy games. And way too many of you'll shared this pissing in Spanish class experience for us to be in the same class. What's going on out there? Oh man, I've got a good one for this. So I'm in H per second theater class and have been helping the teacher out with a lot of tasks like setting up the green room and stuff, just little helpful stuff. Well, apparently one of us left the door unlocked and unattended for a little too long. In our green room were 2 big blue couches that were the most uncomfortable things I had ever sat on. Teacher comes running into the room from the hall and says, "Suddenly tequila, I think someone is in the green room. Go with me so I can have a witness." Thinking nothing of it, I go. We stand by the door and someone is most deaf in there. Making some pretty unusual sounds. I realize what the sound is a half second before the teacher throws the door open to 2 kids from my class getting down on that couch. I only had like 2 seconds of view time before the teacher screams, "Good golly, Miss Molly," and slams the door. I sat outside that door crying from laughing for about 20 minutes before they knocked on the door to be let out, realizing we had the stage completely locked down. The look on their faces when the principal let them out and led them to his office will forever be in my mind. Can you imagine? Balls deep about to blow and from over your shoulder, "Good golly, Miss Molly." I dream of it sometimes and still wake up laughing. We had to go outside for a physics experiment, but on the way from the classroom to the field, there was a bloody trail because a girl had just been stabbed in the bathroom and ran to the nurse. She'd moved to the country less than a month prior, gotten mixed up with some shady people, and a 14-year-old hid in the bathroom stall before jumping out and trying to stab her in the face. She put her arms up and only had superficial injuries, but she never came back. Poor girl had PTSD last time I checked. We had many PCs in our school. And every computer room had a projector. So once when the teacher was ill and no replacement came, we were in that room. Someone started the projector and quickly found out that every porn site he tried is blacklisted. But playing from USB apparently works fine. We later found out, not only are the connections whitelisted, but also fully monitored. Not long after the movie show with sound and everything started, the tech guy comes with a substitute teacher. That internet search history was apparently enough for them to suddenly have a substitute teacher for us. Edit. For anyone interested, we were around 16 or 18 males and 4 girls in class. I can't remember how many were there that day. When I was in middle school, someone jerked off and finished on his desk in the middle of class. The story is legend in our area, and it's been retold so many times that it's hard to figure out what actually happened after he finished. So I'll give you each ending I've heard from different people. 1. He finished and it shot across his desk onto the girl's hair in front of him. 2. The teacher heard something happening, went over and saw it on the desk and put her finger in it. 3. He just cooned over himself and got kicked out of class. He got suspended and a few years later got caught peeing outside and put on the sex offenders list. The guy is really funny and pretty chill now. He has a lot of stories about him, and they're all amazing.
Like and subscribe for more funny, interesting, and scary r/ask Reddit videos.